Every 23rd spring for 23 days, it gets to eat. Let's fucking go. Jeepers Creepers is about these two siblings, Trisha and Derry, who are traveling home for spring break. As they're driving, this really old truck comes up behind them and starts aggressively tailgating and honking at them and drives them off the road essentially. So the truck passes them and they're still pretty shaken up, and a little bit later they see the same truck parked outside of this abandoned church. They see somebody get out of the truck and throw what looks to be a body wrapped in a sheet down this pipe. And of course it's a horror movie, so Derry convinces Trish to go and investigate. So they hear noises coming from down the pipe and Derry's like, okay, I'm gonna try and get closer, hold my feet. Dumb fucking idea. Trish reluctantly does it, but then Derry sees these rats and starts flailing, and Trish lets him go and he falls down the pipe. And while he's down there, he finds the body that the person just threw down the pipe. And it's a guy who's still alive, and he has this crazy stitch up his body. And he grabs Derry and then he dies. Derry goes on to continue investigating and sees hundreds of bodies all sewn together along the walls of this basement. Now, while they were driving earlier, we heard this radio broadcast talking about this couple that went missing from the area 23 years prior. And Derry finds this couple with class rings indicating that it's the couple from this high school. Derry manages to find a staircase and get out through the church, and he tells Trish what they saw, so obviously they flee and go to call the cops. So they're at this diner, obviously frantic, and they get this phone call from this random woman. And the woman says, "You are in danger, and when you hear this song, it means he's close." And she plays that old-timey, creepy-ass song, Jeepers Creepers. And she tells them that one of them is going to die screaming while that song plays in the background. So obviously they're already freaked the fuck out, and then they go outside to their car and find that it has been completely ransacked. So now they know they are in danger, and the guy from the truck followed them. So they end up leaving with two police officers who give them a police escort. And we hear over the police radio that the church has burned down and all of the evidence, if there was any, because they don't even really believe Derry, has been destroyed. As the police are hearing this, Derry and Trish turn on the radio and hear the Jeepers Creepers song. And we see this terrifying figure show up on the police car behind them. And this creature thing attacks and kills both police officers. So Trish and Derry obviously witness this, and they witness the creature that we call the creeper take the head of one of the officers, and it looks like he's eating from it. So they drive away in terror, obviously, and they stop at the next house they come across, which happens to be this old woman who has 37 cats. She's gonna let them inside to call the police until she sees this figure in her yard posing as a scarecrow. The old woman tries to shoot it, but the creeper kills her. So they drive away again, and this time they run the creeper over. They think they killed him, but they look at him lying in the road, and this giant wing pops up. So he is definitely not dead. And now we know it is fucking wings and can fly. So they go to the nearest police station where they run into this woman, Giselle, who turns out to be the woman they were on the phone with earlier, and she is a psychic. And she explains to them what this creature is. It is this ancient creature known as the Creeper, and every 23rd spring for 23 days it gets to eat. And Derry and Trisha are eat what? And she's it eats eyes so it can see, lungs so it can breathe, and anything that it eats becomes a part of it. And the way it picks its victims is by smelling their fear. So obviously he smelled something that he liked on either Trish or Derry. And then, of course, the power to the police station cuts out. And we see it's because the creeper is inside and it kills several prisoners that are locked up. The police surround the creeper and try to kill it, but obviously it just does not die and takes a bunch of them out with him too. So now Giselle, Trish, and Derry are trapped, and Giselle warns them that one of them is about to die this really horrible death, but she doesn't know which one of them it is. But they know she's lying and they demand to know which one. And Giselle just looks at Trish. So the creeper comes up the stairs and finds them, and Giselle stays behind and tells Trish and Derry to run. The creeper smells Giselle and clearly doesn't like her, so lets her go. And then he corners Trish and Derry upstairs in an interrogation room. He smells the both of them, pushes Trish aside, and grabs Derry. At this point, the police are all upstairs. They have their guns pointed at him, but there's not really much they can do. And Trisha, through her tears, is begging the creeper to take her instead of Derry. She's like, "I'm stronger, take me, you want me, you don't want him." But of course he doesn't listen, and he literally flies out the fucking window and takes Derry with him. And Trish just runs outside completely helpless and looks up into the sky as the creeper flies away with her brother. So it's the next day, daylight comes, and Trish is picked up by her parents, who she now has to explain what just happened to her fucking brother. And Trish goes home left to deal with her trauma. But it's not over, because the final scene is a shot of this abandoned, creepy ass basement as the Jeepers Creepers song plays in the background. And we just hear Derry screaming this painful, loud scream. The music gets louder as the camera zeroes in on Derry's body, now with his eyeballs missing. And as we zoom in on Derry's eye, we see the creeper come up behind him and his eye shows up and the movie ends.